Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we are at the top of the workshop looking at the top performing map at the moment, and it's this one. It's very rich and very lush and very green by a creator we have done once in the past, episode 1042, where they got 12 stars and a seal of approval, and we're not going to be disappointed today. Now, before we go on to that, I want to just mention that next week I'm going to be trialling a few different things on WhatsMap. Just a few mini changes. Some of you might not even notice a difference. So yes, we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't pan out, if the algorithms don't like it, we will get rid of them and go back to what you see today. But if they go well, I'm going to stick with them. We'll just play the game, you know. Right, okay, need to go back to last Tuesday before we have a look at today's map, where we had a look at the Troll's Path by Gnaw, or Gnaw, or Gnaw. I'm not quite sure. Didn't know then and I don't know now. Now, I made a balls up. It does happen. Regulars will know this does happen too often. It's not that often, but any often is too often. Right, so what's happened is not network extensions 2, the other mod, Theme Mixer 2, that's the one, it's got a 2 in the name. Theme Mixer 2. When you do the settings for this, you have to put in the base setting as well. I completely forgot. Hence the mountains came out looking pretty red and not very Norwegian at all. Now, this does require not so rocky European theme, and it does need putting into the base settings. So yes, I apologise to Gnaw or Gnaw or Gnaw, and to you, the viewers. I did give this map 4 stars for aesthetics and all the other high ratings I gave it. I'm pushing the aesthetics up to 5 stars. I cannot see how this can be any better. The only thing holding it back was the fact it didn't remind me of Norway. Well, now it does, and it looks blinking marvellous. The Troll's Path, Tuesday last week was the review. Do go and check it out if you've not seen it. It's a very lovely map. Very lovely indeed. Highly recommended. And I'm glad I messed up, so I got another look at it. Indirectly. Okay, back to today's map. We're not in Norway. We're in the south of America. Very lush map. Very rich map. Very treeful map. And lots of good things to talk about today. 1 or 2 things that we could tweak, which we will look at, but nothing game breaking, which is always good. But before we do any of that, regulars will know also that we have a daily reminder. So let's start with one of those, shall we? That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is Brazilian Bay by Eid09. Could be EDE because it's all capitals, but I'm going for Eid, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Right, so we've got a good top-down view there. There's your start square. Got 2 separate spots for water supply, so that's pretty nice as well. You know, the peninsula sticking out in the middle there, cool. Then you've got terrain heights. It's a fairly flat map, some slight undulation, nothing that you won't be able to work with. The resources are good and strong across the map, perhaps everywhere I would say there are resources. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, this is what your fishing map looks like. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. And there are a few things to subscribe to. Not the world's longest list, but there are definitely a few trees and bridges and rocks and network extensions too, and the Seychelles theme and LUT, and the no radioactive desert and more, except for I use Hide It, which is why I haven't subscribed to that one. And down to ground level, and well, the networks are, well, they're good, they're strong, they're clean, they're crisp, they follow a whimsical route. Not a bad route, just whimsical. You could say, does this need to arc around like it does? Well, there's a tree on that tree. A hill. It's a hill tree. There was a tree on the left. I did see one. But yes, there was a hill on the left there. So we're just following a sensible, whimsical route through the Brazilian forests. Now let's take a moment to talk about frame rate and graphics. You see, I do have a bit of a beefy system, but there are so many trees on this map, and of a density which is basically causing the whole system to struggle. Well, before we go any further, let's have a little look at this intersection. This looks good. Liking this, liking that a lot. It's very cleanly done, and we've got a dead end over there that we can start building into. So that's all good. Potential start location, not the start square. We'll keep going. So yes, I do all the YouTuber tricks. So I have all the graphics set pretty high. And then I record at a fairly slow speed. I have the game on, typically on about 30% speed. And speed 1 in terms of game speeds. From the 1, 2, 3. I'm sure you're aware of those already. So I have the game running pretty slowly, and then I speed up the footage in post-production so that the frame rate becomes a little bit faster. Well, that's what all the YouTubers do, although some of them will do it a lot more finessed. They'll have it turned right down to 5% or maybe even 2%. Nice intersection here. Loving the pillar placement as well. Let's go down and have a look at the pillar placement. Look at how close they are to the roads. The distance from the roads is excellent here. Loving the balance. A lot of thoughts being put into this. Well done. So yes, they'll have the game speed turned down to maybe 5% or 2% or maybe who knows, even 1%. And then they'll record really slowly so they cram as many frames as they can in. Recording very slowly means obviously the game can render in every frame and then have it just gloriously crisp. Of course, this takes a lot of time to record and to render, and when you're pushing out a daily show like this, you just haven't got that amount of time to be playing about with really slow long renders. Like again, I would say that's the perfect height for that bridge. Missing a pillar though. Actually no we're not. They're just not aligned. I'd like to see those pillars aligned. I don't think it really matters that much, but if you're talking about going to the next level, I think that's probably a thing. Got a little bit of glitchy terrain there on the highway, and that is probably the worst thing on the entire map. I'm telling you now. So, well, actually, no, I've just thought of something else. That's the second worst thing on the entire map. Okay, we'll get to the worst thing in the middle of the show. So yes, it's not too bad where there are fewer trees, but when we get to density of trees, I just getting really, really bad frame drop. And it won't bother you because, I mean, you're not going to be looking at that, and you probably do some building with the game on pause. But for me, oh, my head was hurting by the end of recording this. Loving the tree placement between the rocks. Like that could easily have had just trees growing out the top of rocks. So a lot of thoughts being put into tree placement and everything. Even that little one there, is that, no, it's just out the side of the rock. Good work, very nice work indeed. Oh, and this is the start square intersection, which means we've got down here somewhere a very British looking asset. Where is it? Here it is. It's probably not British at all, but I've seen buildings like this across the English countryside. I absolutely adore it. It's the Mon 7 Leisure Commercial by Dryas the Younger, and I would use this in the British in an English style build. I mean, you'd think that the entire country is built out of buildings like this. It's not. You do have to look around in the countryside. The posh areas tend to have buildings like this, and yes, looks very like an English country pub, and I would go there very happily, and I'd let you buy me a drink. Because why would I have to pay, huh? Why is it down to me to pay? Anyway, factoids, because factoids. William, oh, that's a boring one if you're not British. It's a short one. Only female mosquitoes bite. There you go. Quick one, that one. Yeah, no, the other one was very British, British-centric, and unless you know British politics, it'll mean nothing to you. Mon 7, Leisure Commercial by Dryas the Younger. Today's asset of the day. Yes, William Gladstone, and he was previously Chancellor of the Exchequer, which, again, what does that mean to you if you're not in Britain? Absolutely zippo. Okay, nice bridge there. Look at that bridge. Ooh, is it high enough? Good question. Have we got a shipping route coming under there? Good question. things like that will be answered later on in the show, because that's what's going on. Oh yes, so yeah, making a couple of changes to the format of the show next week. Just a trial, see how they go, because Google Analytics suggests that I should make a couple of changes to the structure. I'm not going to take everything that's in the show is going to still be in the show. Just the format of when they will appear might change a little bit. And one major change, just for the week, one major change which it hurts me even to think about it. But to be honest with you, 99% of the show you won't even notice that there's been a change. Okay? Where are we? Oh, the rail. Having a look at the rail now. So yes. So definitely looking for feedback next week. Look out for that. And I will be reminding you throughout the week, because if you miss Monday's show, you'll wonder what's going on next week. So yes, I will repeat myself a little bit. But yeah, there'll be one major change next week. I'm not going to tell you in advance, because I just want to see what the reaction's going to be. Nice rail bridge there. Liking that. Very happy with that. And like the way it comes across there. That's all good and clean. Good rail line. So yes, one major change that you'll notice immediately, and then you'll probably forget about instantly. Just check for catenaries. Catenary, good work there. That's all good work. Yeah, then you'll forget about instantly, and you probably, you won't notice. You literally won't notice. Which way should we go? Should we go left? I think we go left, yeah. Yeah, you won't notice, but it's literally 1% of the show, if that. But it's a big 1%. So like, what's he talking about? I'm just setting the scene. Don't leave if you don't like it, because at the end of the week, if the viewing figures have taken a negative, I will go back to the former settings. Just want to play with. It's about time this channel started really accelerating away. I mean, been doing this a long while, and I would like to have more viewers, and I think I deserve it. Just gonna say it. The hours I put into this, I think I deserve more. Give me more. Yeah, more perfect catenaries there. And we have an end to the rail, which means time for this. Are you a fan of the show? Well, I guess if you're watching this, you really must be. And as you've made it through 1,000 reviews, it's time to really treat yourself. To emblazon yourself with all 1,000 thumbnails in one great garment. From the makers of WhatsMap, it's the official WhatsMap 1000 t-shirt. Get yours now. And other t-shirts are available. Okay, down to the shipping routes, and these are glorious. Look at the slickness. We're just going to head left, see what happens, and it's just beautifully done, isn't it? Beautifully done. If I pull back there, you can just see that whole nest of shipping routes, all bending and curving, and it's just lovely work. We do have a shipping route going through that bridge though. Is that bridge high enough? I think I'm going to need to do a test on that. And then we have, shipping route over there, bending over there. It's just really a nice tree structure for all of these shipping routes. Very clean and just smart. Going where you want them to. But here we go. And no, that vanilla cruiser is just crunching through that bridge. Just crunching through it. So yeah, it needs brazing a little bit, or using non-vanilla shipping, which is easy enough done if you've got the old mods going. What about water flow? Well, water flow, let's have a look. Where are we? We've got good strong water flow flowing through here, but the start square has access to this. There is a little bit of water flow through there, so maybe put your sewage outflow there and do some drawing from this bay here. So it would actually work for the old basic rules. So I quite like that one. Right, all told, what have we got going on? We've got a really interesting bay. We've got this island over here. It's a good sized island, way too big for a bonbon island. But the Seychelles theme and luck means that we are guaranteed really nice beaches, as long as they aren't like vertical, which we have seen from people before. I think they're good looking beaches. And we've got now the hills. I'm going to be honest, the hills don't really tickle me. I know there are different sorts of hills all around the world, and some of them are a little bit poofy, like these ones are a little bit poofy with sort of like cliffy edges. I know they happen, but I'm just, something about them isn't really working for me. And I think it might be the tree placement. It's kind of like it's got a haircut, isn't it? Like a Mohican haircut going on the top there. Because there's no transition between, there's no trees to the cliff edge, and there's no transition between the tree line onto the slopes. So I'd like to see some trees coming down the slope a little bit and encroaching up into the slope a little bit, and maybe some trees right up until the cliff edges. Like over here we've got a cliff edge, we've got a big gap between the cliff edge and the trees. I'd like to see some sort of foliage, even if it's not the big trees. And do you know what? Let's do this. Let's tell you what, let me just use the, there we go, I'm going to grab that and we'll just use copy and paste using Move It. I'm just going to, it's a quick job, not expecting this to be anything magnificent and beautiful and marvelous, but if you want that, there will be, there's new content coming to the channel next month. I haven't mentioned it yet. we'll worry about that. We'll worry about the new content next month. But anyway, I've just got to get rid of a couple of these trees that they're just bugging me. And then a little bit of a transition down, so let's choose some of the smaller trees there. And so I'm just going to pop a few, and again, it's a quick job. I'm just going to do a couple here to encroach up into the slope a little bit. So we have a slightly more softer transition between the forest at the bottom. And I know it's a map with way too many trees already, if that's not way too many. But there you go. Just a slightly smoother transition between top to bottom there. And the trees are much closer to the cliff edge at the top, giving a much more defined line. So it's just little things like that. It's talking about just taking things to the next level again. Nice island here with plenty of foliage on it, loads of foliage. And I'll say again, I'm loving the beaches, I'm loving the shapes of the land. And all told, I mean, most of these hills I don't mind at all. It was just like the tree lines along. I like the tree work around that hill actually. That was quite good. And then lots of little islands dotted around inside the harbour, the bay itself, which is going to make it perfect for ferries if you've got mass transit, which you will need for this map. Then you can do your ferries, which would be amazing. Anyway, what do you think of this map, though? I've wittered on long enough. Let me know. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right-hand corner of your screen to go and vote for free. And let's get those votes up, shall we? What do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I like it, actually. I like it. It's very laggy on the system, but that doesn't mean it's not an attractive map. It doesn't blow me away, but it's still definitely a 4-star map. Lowish 4, but still 4 stars. Detailing, I'm going to say pretty much the same. It's 4 stars on the whole. We have that one bridge which is just a little bit too low, just a wee bit too low, and a little bit of glitchy terrain on the highway. Other than that, it's pretty strong. I mean, there's nothing extra, but what standards we've got are good. So I'm gonna go low 4. It's 4 stars again. Gameplay potential. Yeah, playable. No problems with this at all. 1 or 2 things to fix. Won't take very long at all to do. I'm gonna say this is a 4-star map through and through, right down the middle, not low at all. Good solid score. Brazilian Bay by Eid09. And the BonBonB seal of approval because, well, I approve of it. I do. Yeah, if you're looking for a rich map with lots of buildable space and a good solid network and good standards, that's your map. I think we've got a new quality map maker here in Eid09. You know that. Anyway, if you're still here, thanks for watching. You are part of the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day into the comments to score yourself 100 population points just for fun. And don't forget to check out everybody else's comments to see what they've put as well. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What to Map series. Thanks for watching.